Deep in a forest where ancient trees touched the sky lived a parrot named Pip. Pip was not like other parrots. His feathers shimmered with all the colors of a rainbow. He once lived with a kind old stargazer. The stargazer had a long white beard and eyes that twinkled like the night sky. He taught Pip many things. He taught him about the sun, the moon, and the distant glittering stars. Pip learned to listen to the wind. He learned to watch the clouds drift by. The most special thing Pip learned was a secret language. It was the language of the stars. The stargazer would whisper soft, twinkling words to the night sky. Pip listened carefully. He learned a few of these magical star words.
Lumisheen, which meant gentle light. Astra whisper, meaning star secret.
These words felt like tiny, warm sparks on his tongue. He loved saying them. He felt connected to the vast, beautiful universe when he spoke the star words. But one day, the kind stargazer disappeared. He simply vanished, like a dream at sunrise. Pip waited and waited. He called out in his normal parrot voice. Not far from Pip's tall, lonely tree was a sun-dappled place called the Whispering Meadow. Here, wildflowers danced in the gentle breeze. Bumblebees hummed their busy tunes. And in a cozy burrow, beneath the roots of an old oak tree, lived a rabbit named Rosie. Rosie had fur as white as a summer cloud. Her nose twitched constantly, sniffing the sweet scents of clover and dew-kissed grass. She had kind, curious eyes that noticed everything. She loved to explore the meadow. Rosie often saw Pip in his high tree. She noticed his beautiful colors even from a distance, but she also sensed his loneliness. She saw how he would sit for hours just looking at the sky. His bright feathers seemed to droop a little. Sometimes she heard him making soft, strange sounds. They were not like the chirps of other birds. They sounded like whispers from a faraway place. Rosie's gentle heart felt a little ache for the lonely parrot. She wondered if he needed a friend.
Seeing Pip so alone made me want to do something.
Rosie was a kind rabbit. She always tried to help other creatures in the meadow. If a ladybug tumbled onto its back, Rosie would gently nudge it upright with her soft nose. Rosie reached the base of Pip's enormous tree. She looked up, up, up. Pip was perched on a high branch, his colorful feathers ruffled by the morning breeze. He looked down and saw the little white rabbit. He was very surprised. Not many creatures came so close to his solitary tree.
Hello up there. I brought you something.
She held up the shiny red berry for him to see. It gleamed like a tiny jewel in the sunlight. Pip tilted his head, curious. He flew down to a lower branch, closer to Rosie. He had not spoken to anyone for so long.
For me?
Yes, it looks so juicy. I thought you might like it.
Pip carefully flew down to the ground. He had forgotten how nice it was to be near someone. He gently took the berry from Rosie. It was sweet and delicious. A tiny spark of warmth flickered in his chest.
Thank you. It's very good.
They began to talk. It was a little awkward at first. Pip was not used to conversations anymore. Rosie was patient and asked gentle questions. Pip told her about the stargazer. He told her about his loneliness. He even whispered one of his star words.
Lumisheen.
Explaining it meant gentle light. As their friendship blossomed, Pip started to remember more things from his time with the stargazer. The old man used to hum a gentle, mysterious tune. It was a song Pip had almost forgotten, buried deep beneath his loneliness. Now, with Rosie by his side, fragments of the melody and its words began to surface in his mind. He would hum bits of it, and Rosie would listen intently, her ears perked. The song was soft and flowing, like a gentle river. One sunny afternoon, as they sat sharing a handful of sunflower seeds, Pip remembered a particularly clear part of the song.
The sunstone gem, in shadows deep where ancient secrets softly sleep, brings joy and light to banish gloom and makes the darkest spirits bloom.
He looked at Rosie, his eyes wide with a new thought.
A sunstone gem. The stargazer sang about it. He said it could bring joy and light.
Pip felt a surge of excitement he hadn't felt in ages. Pip wondered if finding this sunstone gem could help him. Perhaps it could fill the emptiness in his heart. Rosie, despite her own quiet apprehension about the whispering woods, saw the longing in Pip's eyes. She knew how much he missed the stargazer, and how much he wished for a little more light in his life. She hopped closer to him and nudged his wing gently with her soft head.
Pip, if this sunstone gem is important to you, then we should try to find it. We can find it together.
Her bravery was like a little spark, igniting Pip's own courage. Pip looked at his small, furry friend. Rosie was not a big, strong creature. but her heart was immense. Her belief in him and in them made him feel stronger.
Together? You really think we could?
Rosie nodded enthusiastically, her long ears bobbing.
Of course! You can fly and see things from above, and I have a good nose for trails and hidden paths. We make a great team.
She smiled, and her smile was as bright as the morning sun. And so the decision was made. They would embark on a quest to find the legendary Sunstone Gem. The Whispering Woods lived up to its name. As Pip and Rosie ventured deeper, the trees seemed to murmur secrets to each other. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy in shifting patterns, making shadows dance like playful sprites. Pip flew short distances from branch to branch, his colorful feathers a bright flash against the green and brown. He called out directions to Rosie, who hopped along the forest floor, her keen eyes spotting faint animal trails that Pip might have missed from above. The air was cool and smelled of damp earth and pine needles. They walked for many hours, the woods growing thicker and wilder. Sometimes the path would disappear entirely, and Rosie would use her excellent sense of smell to find it again, sniffing out the faintest scent of crushed leaves or disturbed soil. Pip, with his knowledge of the stargazers' tales, remembered that the Sunstone Gem was said to be hidden near where the earth sparkles. He kept an eye out for any unusual glints or shimmers.
Pip now!
They encouraged each other with cheerful words, sharing the berries and nuts they had packed when they felt tired. After a long while, Pip spotted something unusual.
Rosie, look! The ground ahead, it seems to glitter.
Rosie hopped forward eagerly. Indeed, the earth beneath a rocky outcrop was flecked with tiny sparkling crystals. Following the trail of glittering stones, they discovered a narrow opening in the rocks, the entrance to a cave. It was darker inside, but a faint, beautiful light emanated from within.
This must be it!
The air from the cave was cool and carried the sound of dripping water. Unbeknownst to Pip and Rosie, they were being watched. Finley, the sneaky fox, had ears as sharp as his teeth and a nose for trouble, or rather, for treasure. He had lived in the Whispering Woods for a long time and knew all its secrets. He had heard the ancient legends of the Sunstone Gem, a jewel said to hold the warmth of 1,000 suns. Finley desired shiny, valuable things more than anything. When he saw the little parrot and the rabbit heading towards the glimmering caves, his eyes gleamed with cunning. Finley was clever and sly. He decided he would let the small adventurers do the hard work of finding the gem. Then, at the right moment, he would swoop in and snatch it for himself. He followed them silently, his paws barely making a sound on the forest floor or the cave's rocky paths. He hid in the shadows, his reddish fur blending with the darker corners of the woods and the cave. He listened to their excited whispers and watched their progress with a greedy smirk. Pip and Rosie looked at each other. They had faced the shadows of the Whispering Woods and the mysteries of the glimmering caves together. Their friendship had become a strong bond, built on trust and shared experiences. They remembered Rosie's mother's warning about a sneaky fox. Finley's words, though smooth and persuasive, felt wrong. They didn't feel kind or true like the words they shared with each other. Pip puffed up his chest feathers slightly, and Rosie wiggled her nose, a sign she was thinking hard.
Thank you for your concern, Mr. Fox, but we trust our own path, and we prefer to stick together.
Yes, friends help each other.
Finley's friendly mask slipped a little, revealing a flash of annoyance in his eyes. He realized these two were not as easily fooled as he had hoped. He decided to try a more direct approach, lunging towards the small bag of berries Rosie carried, thinking the gem might be hidden there already. Rosie, quick as a flash, darted to the side and the bag skittered away.
Pip now!
Pip, remembering the most powerful star word the stargazer had taught him, one that sounded like a sudden clap of thunder, took a deep breath.
Kratum!
He shrieked with all his might. The sound echoed through the cave, surprisingly loud and startling. Pip and Rosie approached the Sunstone Gem with awe. It was even more beautiful than they had imagined. It wasn't a magical wish-granting stone, and the stargazer didn't suddenly reappear. But as they basked in its gentle golden radiance, a profound feeling of happiness washed over them. The gem seemed to pulse with contentment, its light chasing away any lingering shadows in their hearts. Pip realized that the true magic wasn't just in the stone itself, but in the journey they had undertaken together, and the friendship that had guided them. They carefully wrapped the Sunstone Gem in the stargazer's old cloth and began their journey back to the Whispering Meadow. The path seemed brighter now, less daunting. They talked and laughed, their spirits light and joyful. When they finally emerged from the whispering woods and stepped back into the familiar sunshine of their meadow, it felt like coming home in a whole new way. The meadow seemed even more vibrant, the flowers more colorful, the bird songs sweeter than before. Their adventure had changed them, making their bond unbreakable. They found a special place for the sunstone gem, on a soft patch of moss near Pip's tree and Rosie's burrow, where its warm glow could be shared by all. Pip's feathers now shone with an inner brilliance that outshone even their rainbow hues. He was no longer the lonely parrot who spoke only to the distant stars. He had Rosie, his dearest friend, and their shared adventure had filled his life with warmth and laughter. He still looked at the stars, but now he shared their beauty with Rosie, telling her stories the stargazer once told him. The sunstone gem became a beacon of their friendship. Other creatures from the meadow were drawn to its gentle light and to the happy chatter of the parrot and the rabbit. Pip and Rosie learned that the greatest treasures are not always shiny stones, but the kindness shared between friends and the courage found in facing challenges together.